Everybody wants to be in flow. The flow state is a state where you feel like anything's possible. You're going from one task to the next, and time just seems to flow by. You might get into the flow state, put your head down, start working, and it feels like minutes have passed, but then your head rises up and you realize you've been working for 8 hours straight. You forgot to eat even. You were so into your work. That's the ideal state to be in, but it's hard to get into the flow state. And so in today's video, I wanted to talk about how I get into flow, but also more importantly, what the best use of the flow state is, because it's not exactly what you might be thinking. The best use of flow state is not necessarily to complete your to-do list. The best use of flow and what I do on flow coming up. But first, make sure you're subscribed down below and smash that like button for more videos like this. So what is the flow state? The flow state is when everything is going right. You might experience it with some tasks. Like everyone experiences it with different tasks. Some people love video editing. For me, it's filming YouTube videos, or when I'm on Twitter, I can tweet 500 times throughout the day. I'll look up and it'll be dinner time already. Or even when I'm sending cold emails, if I can get into that flow state. Now, how do you best take advantage of the state? Well, the first thing you want to do is find out when you're most likely to be in flow. For me, I am a morning person. If I wake up at 6 a.m., I know a lot of people have these crazy morning routines where they wake up at 6 a.m. and they have to do yoga for an hour. They have to go running for like 2 hours and make sure everything's perfect in their life. That is not the way that I operate. My perfect flow state is right after I wake up. So I'll wake up. Typically, I'll just roll over. My phone is right next to me. And I'll start either tweeting or doing work or answering emails or doing all that stuff immediately, and I'll roll right into a flow state. And then I might stop to take a shower and all that stuff, but it'll be after about 45 minutes to an hour of just working while in bed. So for me, my flow state is most likely to happen right after waking up in the morning, so I know to take advantage of that. So that's step one, is identify when you are most likely to be in flow. For some people, that flow state happens late at night, aka early in the morning, 11 p.m., 12 a.m., even 1 or 2 a.m. when their whole house is asleep. That's when they're most likely to be in flow. For me, it's early morning. Some people, although I've never heard of this, get into flow midday, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Although what I've heard and what I've seen is you're either a morning person or you're a night person. And it's good to identify that. And I wouldn't flip it either. If I try to work at 1 a.m., there's no way the quality of work is going to be any good. It's going to be slower because it's harder for me to get into that natural flow state. And the same for you. If you're a night person, but you're forcing yourself to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to get to work because your favorite influencer is saying that's the thing to do, you're going to run into issues with your work. So figure out exactly when your flow state is and then work during that time. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about was the most effective use of this flow state. So you're in it. You've identified that mornings, for instance, 6 to 10 a.m. is the time to work. Great. Now, what do you do during that time? Well, if you remember the beginning of this video, I was talking about using a to-do list to knock out your flow tasks. That's great, but that assumes that you have a to-do list. That assumes you have a list of tasks that is high value. And so most people don't. This is what I would do during my flow state. And what I tend to do first is I use the flow state to map out systems and processes that will carry me through the times when I'm not in flow. So I'm feeling it. I'm understanding my business from new angles that I might not have considered. And so instead of sending emails or doing a task that I could do in the non-flow state, I'm instead thinking about strategic moves we could make. I'm writing out to-do lists for the month or even for the year. When I mapped out our course plan, me, Div, and Vishal and the rest of the team were mapping out the courses and everything we wanted to teach. The perfect time to do that was in a flow state, because when you do it in flow, you could plan out 150 videos. When you do it not in flow, it might take you, weeks to do this. So that's the main thing you want to focus on when you're in the flow state is how do you organize your life? How do you build these systems in a way that'll take you through the non-flow times? Some things I like to do during that time are mapping out to-do lists and doing high-value creative tasks, typically ideas for YouTube or ideas for Twitter, all of the stuff that requires your brain, that requires thinking, so that when you're in execution mode, it'll be easier for you to execute. That's the best way to use the flow state. The second best way to use the flow state, let's say you've mapped out all of these systems and processes, you already know what to do. The second best way to use the flow state is to do creative work that empowers you or creative work that only you can do. So within our organization, there are a ton of people that do a ton of different tasks. Robert has his team. He organizes operations. Dave runs the YouTube channel. He does producing. Vishal does project management across LeadShark and Taplio. He helps our team go. Jenny is also on project management from a marketing and operations side on Taplio and LeadShark. So they all have their own tasks. But there are certain things in this organization that only I can do. And you need to identify what those are for you as well. So for me, it's things like filming the actual YouTube video. Or recently we were recording an audiobook, and recording that audiobook was something only I could do. Or tweeting is something only I can do. Or even mapping out and doing direct sales when we're trying to acquire early users for Taplio or LeadShark, or live streaming on the YouTube channel. Those are the best uses for flow state. So when I find myself, let's say it is 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and I find myself unbelievably motivated to work, then I'm doing things that only I can do. And typically that turns out to be a YouTube live stream. So if you see me on here at like 5 to 6 p.m. UK, unplanned live, that's because I was in a flow state for some reason, and I needed to be able to use that time effectively. So I'll get on a live, and I'll either answer questions, which delivers value to you, delivers value to the audience, or I'll be hard selling leads like we do on LeadShark, or I'll have some kind of special offer, and then that would deliver value both to you because you get this awesome offer, but also delivers value to my team because now the revenue of the startups that we run increases. So that's the best use of the flow state, is to do things that only you can do. And if you don't know what in your organization only you can do, then you go back to what I just talked about. That's where the planning session comes in. If you feel like you're doing a lot of work that could easily be outsourced, then it's your responsibility as a manager, it's your responsibility as a business owner to find somebody else to do that work. Because if you're sitting there grinding out on stuff that isn't the best use of your time and isn't the most high value work, then you're wasting both your time and the company's time. Nobody wants to work on things that a lower paid employee could do. There's various task levels. Some things are worth $10 an hour, and some things are worth even as much as $10,000 an hour, or even $1 million an hour if you get up to like the billion-dollar brands, high-level thinking areas. So you want to move yourself to those high-value tasks as much as possible, and the best use of flow state is using your brain to organize those tasks so that you can focus only on things that only you can do. How do you use your flow state? And also, are you a morning person or a night person? Let me know down below. Would love to hear it. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe for more content like this. Like this video for more videos. I need you to help encourage the YouTube algorithm. So go down, like this video to encourage more videos like this. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.